Electric Highways is a game made by Zikov Eddy in 2015. Fun fact about this game, it was the subject of my first ever video essay script. I never actually finished the video though, because I realized the script was incoherent shit. I guess some things never change. Year 2072, technology has allowed people to go deeper into the virtual world. Because of the web, people became less emotional and more isolated. In a world where human emotion is rare, it's hard to stay sane. You are a virtual engineer, and you have finished your latest virtual reality project. You set a timer for 30 minutes. Once it hits 0, the project will be uploaded to the web. But before it gets released, you go through and explore it one last time. And yeah, the timer is just for show, it doesn't actually do anything, but that's fine. Electric Highways has immensely strong aesthetics. It's very electronic, who would have guessed, and kind of retro-futuristic. This is mostly conveyed through the game's music, which is really well-fitting. I'm not usually too into electronic music, but this game's soundtrack works so well for the feeling they were clearly deliberately going for. And it makes sense. The music is a focal point of the game. On the itch.io page, the creator states that, in some ways, the game is like an interactive conceptual music album, where each level is like a short song. A music album presented in the form of an interactive video game. It's a very unique and creative idea. There are only a few other examples I can find of this kind of multimedia creation. The topic of interactive music albums is interesting enough to possibly warrant its own video, so I might just do that in the future. Electric Highways wears its influences on its sleeve, and it uses that to further its aesthetics and feeling, as it contains a plethora of references to music of the electronic genre, including Underpass by John Foxx. One of the songs in the game borrows a riff from it. And by borrow, I mean the entire song is just the riff they took from Underpass, repeated. But, you know, only 12 notes in existence and also whatever, all music is essentially derivative. Lyrics from Crushed by the Wheels of Industry by Heaven 17 are referenced. The album cover of Replicas by Gary Newman is depicted in a stage. The lyrics of Warm Leatherette by The Normal are referenced. And there's probably others, but I'm not knowledgeable enough regarding electronic music to find them. There are also references to the sci-fi film Metropolis in the form of these words, Aeronaut and Daviosan, which are seen in the film. Electric Highways has a clear underlying theme and meaning, which resonates with me greatly. It's communicated through various little messages across the game. Generally, it's about the despair of living in the modern, digital age, in which it feels as though, despite all of our advances in communications and information technology, ironically, people are becoming less connected, more distant. I lift my receiver in hopes of getting a response. No one comes here. This new world is a giant sea. Is there someone waiting across the waters? Sometimes I think I'm on an endless virtual highway. The game is called Electric Highways, and the internet has sometimes been called an information superhighway, so the idea there is apparent. Love by numbers, lives and wires. Take a step, now it's disconnected. Only when I see the light, I feel like more than just a number. There are several orbs scattered across the game which give messages which further these same themes. Specifically, neon lights are mentioned repeatedly. They are a motif in this game. Neon lights, in this case, may be referring to neon signs used by shops and businesses, more prominently in the past, like the 1920s. They're pretty, flashy, and catch your attention. In the dark of the night, they call out to you, as if to appear as a beacon, mayhaps a guiding light. But in reality, they aren't there to help you. They are there simply to steal your attention, to sell something to you, to tempt you. At one point in time, the neon lights were restricted to the sides of the streets, but in the modern age, the neon lights have infiltrated our homes. You're probably looking at one right now. Find all my friends. Tell them to touch the night. Avoid the neon lights, for even the darkness would be better than this fakery. If you collect all the orbs, you unlock a secret stage at the end of the game where you get an additional set of messages. One day, and I stopped understanding, Next day, drown in thoughts. How does everything work? Could somebody please tell me? A generally confused and overwhelmed tone in all these messages. Living on a never-ending highway of information, it might be too much for some people. The elderly, for example. They are all left in the dust, as they have no choice but to get in. But maybe they can still get out. At the end of the game, the main character says, "People came into this world, but I was glad to escape it." So I sat down and thought about 2072, neon, numbers, and ways to escape. A desire to escape the monotony and isolation of the digital world. This is also shown symbolically through multiple birds or eagles seen in the game, which can represent freedom. Notice how at one point the birds are shown projected onto a wall. An illusion. Electric Highways is a very dense concentration of aesthetic and feeling. With no complex interaction to distract you, every aspect of it is directed towards elevating a theme, an emotion. You walk outside and you stare at the neon lights, and the neon lights stare back at you. Miles and miles of endlessly rising buildings like roots searching for soil that they will never find. You will help grow those roots, and so will your friends who live across the sea, connected through this highway, or so you think. Electric Highways is a truly unique and memorable experience, the themes of which resonate with me strongly. I think everyone should partake in it. It's free on itch.io and it's pretty short, about 30 minutes, so why don't you just go ahead and play it?